everybody, another night, another movie. It's 1:30 in the morning and I just got done watching 1999's The Sixth Sense, starring Bruce Willis, Haley Joel Osment, Toni Collette and Olivia Williams. This one I've seen several times before. It was the first ever, not the first ever, but one of the first ever DVDs I had. So it's one of those, it's by M. Night Shyamalan, which means it's got the major twist, of course. And if you don't know what that twist is, how have you survived without the internet for the past 14 years? Seriously? This has been so parodied. I don't think there's any more parodies left to be done about this. It's insane. And the thing is I am going to be telling the spoilers. So if somehow you've managed to avoid all of them, if, I don't know, you've been living under a rock, and you don't want to be spoiled now, all I can say is, please, check this out now. Just join the rest of civilization. I'm joking. I don't mind about you not seeing it, but you seriously must know all the parodies. Please, check it out. It is a good, tense thriller. For those of you who don't mind spoilers, please stay with me. Which is probably the main line that should have been used, because you have to sit through 3 minutes of credits at the start of this movie. But basically it's the story of Dr. Malcolm Crowe, Bruce Willis, played by Bruce Willis, who's this renowned child psychologist who starts this movie after the never-ending credits, having won an award from the mayor for his work with the community. So he and his wife, drunk, go up to bed and are ready to have some sexy time, except it then turns out that somebody has broken into their house. Who it turns out was a patient that Malcolm, no, I can't say Malcolm, I'm sorry, that just makes me think of May to December. I'm going to keep saying Dr. Crowe through the rest of this review, I think, because seriously that's going to be distracting. So somebody that Dr. Crowe wasn't able to help 10 years ago, who's clearly just lost it completely, lost all hope and everything, is stood there in just his briefs, and he shoots Dr. Crowe and then shoots himself. Cut to the following autumn, where we meet this kid Cole, played by Haley Joel Osment, who is a loner, is troubled, has serious issues, single mother, who played by Toni Collette, who dotes on her son to death, but you know, is seriously worried about him. And we learn that Dr. Crowe has been assigned this kid for you know, trying to figure out what's wrong with him. So you go through the process of kind of watching these two, you know. Cole doesn't want to share his secret, and Dr. Crowe's trying to get it out of him, kind of thing. Except then you learn, after time, that Cole's secret is that he can see dead people. He can see these ghosts, and he's terrified of them, and he's been attacked by them and stuff. There's this one scene where he's at this party, you know, these kids from school have been forced to invite Cole to this party. And there's this, you can hear this voice in this cupboard, and Cole gets locked in it. But the thing is you know what the scariest thing about this scene is? There is this floating balloon that goes up to like the top of the staircase and lands on the ceiling. And you can't show me a red floating balloon and not make me think of Pennywise the Clown going, "Oh yes, Georgie, they float. They all float." I can't do that. And I'm just sat there going, oh dear, there's going to be a clown jumping out in a minute. And you know what? If there had been a clown at this party, it would have just, that would have been the scariest thing about this whole movie. Unfortunately, or fortunately, there wasn't. But so Cole follows this balloon, kind of like Georgie, and gets shut in this cupboard where this ghost is. And he goes back and all that. And it turns out he gets admitted to the hospital, and it turns out, after he gets out, and it turns out he's got these scratches on him and stuff like that. And his mother is just like, where are you getting all these scratches from? So, anyway, Cole finally tells his secret to Dr. Crow, and Dr. Crow's just like, okay, cuckoo. He thinks that, you know, maybe Cole is, has some form of child schizophrenia or something like that. But then he's listening back to a tape of his session with the patient that he failed 10 years ago. And he realises that there's this extra, like, Spanish voice on the tape, and he starts to clue into the fact that maybe actually he had the same problem that Cole has now. So he doubles down and makes sure to help Cole. And the big reveal, you know, they're able to help this girl who it turns out was poisoned. Slowly over the course of 2 years by her stepmother, I think it is. And Cole, of course, is a lot happier now because he's learnt from Dr. Crow that he should confront the ghosts. That maybe all they want to do is talk, find their closure, kind of thing. So he's a lot happier. He knows how to deal with them now. And then, thanks to advice from Cole, Malcolm speaks to his wife who's asleep and then learns the big reveal that the whole movie, he was dead. Dr. Crow has been dead since he was shot at the beginning. This was a huge reveal at the time. I wasn't on the internet at the time, so this was insane because, well, I was just on the internet and it wasn't something, you know, I don't think YouTube was around at the time, and our computer wasn't really capable of watching videos. Either way, it wasn't the kind of thing that I would look up, and I didn't know any of the spoilers, and I was just like, wait, what? And then I watched the behind the scenes documentary, which told you all the little things and the signposts and stuff. And then I watched it again. I was like, oh, you're right. That stuff is pointed out and it is more obvious. As a result, I've heard people argue that this movie has no rewatchability at all. And I would like to call bullshit on that. Because, like I say, I've watched this several times over the years and I've enjoyed it every single time. I've watched this again now and I still don't have a problem with it, even though I know what the big reveal is. What I do recommend is giving time between watches. This isn't something you can watch like once a month. I've had a good year or two since watching it last, and I think that's really the best way to watch it. It's a lot of fun, but you've got to give that time to let it kind of sink out of your memory a little bit, and then you can re-enjoy it, kind of thing. And that is the thing. This is a really tense, dark, kind of terrifying at times thriller. Back when Shyamalan was at his height, before he became a joke, before he did The Last Airbender, before he did essentially become a gimmick, this was just brilliant, and I cannot recommend it enough. It's not a perfect movie. I have serious issues with the whole thing of how Dr. Crow got Cole's details in the first place. Now, the line is that dead people only see what they want to see. Now, it could be that Dr. Crowe has just been put on this path, or it could be that he had Cole's records before he died. There is something to say that Cole was referred back in like 98 or something. So maybe he's had it that long. But it kind of, I was going to say it stretches believability, but we're talking about a movie where a kid can see ghosts. So, not particularly scientific. But it just, that is one of my nitpicks about it. About sometimes it just feels a bit plot holey. There are times when it does feel like somebody, particularly Cole's mother, at one point, it looks like she does, if not just accidentally, glance in Dr. Crowe's direction. But otherwise, seriously, this is I cannot nitpick it. I cannot pull this apart too much. It's not perfect. Like I say, there are a couple of things that feel a bit plot holey, that kind of get to me, but it's a good watch. I unfortunately, I like to rip stuff apart. I will nitpick the shit out of stuff, as anybody who's seen my other reviews will know. So other casual watchers may enjoy it a lot more. But you know, if you like your dark thrillers, if you like everything, everybody's brilliant in this. Haley Joel Osment is a brilliant kid actor in this. Although I do get a bit tired of his constant whispering stuff. That gets a little annoying after a while. His little high-pitched kind of... Bruce Willis is excellent in this. I always enjoy him in stuff, even though he seems like a bit of a dick in interviews. But I think really the standout for me was Toni Collette. I really enjoy the relationship between her and Cole. I really feel that kind of caring, loving concern. So I just, everybody's brilliant. Like I say, there's good pacing, there's good editing. There's a couple of bits where it feels more like a TV show. There's these fade to blacks and then fade back in, which makes you feel like there should be a commercial break there. But otherwise, it's just a good drama, a thriller. So please do, if you get the chance, if you haven't already, I highly recommend 1999's The Sixth Sense. That was tonight's movie. Thank you so much for watching. Looking forward, as always, to seeing your comments, both from the usual mob and from, hopefully, some of the new subscribers. We'll be back again tomorrow with yet another movie. But for now, this is Sketch, signing out.